Tash here with another episode of Bench Break, and we are back with Ashley and Brady. And today's topic is going to be, what is our worst experience with the gym? Guys, honestly, I've been fortunate enough that I have not had a bad experience with the gym at all, to be honest. I'm having a really hard time, which, I guess is a good thing. But I guess the only thing I could say is maybe like certain things about the gym I didn't like. Maybe, to not make me go back there. I'm really big on taking advantage of the free passes, whether it's a 1 day, 3 day, or a 7 day before. And I actually tell that to my clients, like before you sign up and commit, make sure that that gym fits, your character, your wants and needs. So yeah, I can't really comment on this. So I'm going to pass it on to see Ashley. I think Ashley wants to start with this.
No, I've been to a lot of different gyms all over. I'm not going to name names, but yes. But yeah, so I've been to every type of gym you can imagine, the commercial gyms, the private gyms. I personally prefer private gyms because I feel like the owners take more care into the gym. There's more care with the equipment, and usually the people are more respectable in the gym. Commercial gyms, I can't stand. I've been to many different ones, and usually they're very overcrowded. The crowd usually there is very disrespectful to the equipment, to other members. So for me, I've learned that I just need to stay away from commercial gyms, because when I'm at the gym, I'm looking to, get a little therapy, feel good about myself, and it's hard to feel like that when you feel like you're packed like a sardine, or like sometimes I feel like I'm waiting in line at the grocery store, like for a piece of equipment. I'm like, there's 5 people ahead of me, and I'm like, okay, 30 minutes have gone by, and that's one thing for me that I had to learn, because when the gym is very crowded, it's really hard to get done what you have planned to get done, and you have to be flexible if you're at a gym like that, which is one of the hardest things for me, because when I have a set plan, I just want to execute it. And so going to gyms like that, although it was a bad thing, it did kind of teach me some patience and being more flexible and not being so rigid with, okay, I have to do this certain exercise and there's nothing else that I can do. Right. So that for me was one thing at a gym, but I'll go ahead and let Brady share, and then maybe I'll come back because I've got a few.
Yeah, I'm similar to you. I thankfully haven't had a ton of negative fitness experiences. I can think of ones that were better than others for sure, but none that I would say like a 10 out of 10 versus a 7 out of 10, maybe if we're thinking about a ranking. And mostly I think it's the cleanliness, and I think a lot of times it's how busy the gym is. It can be hard to keep it clean, and I get that working at gyms and stuff. But the cleanliness, equipment being down, and you just never really know what's going on behind the scenes, I guess. This piece is on back order, and you don't know that. You just see that it's been broken for whatever. But and then the crowdedness, like you were talking about, I think for me, I mostly go to the commercial gyms that you're talking about, and I think it's made me be so much more creative with my workouts, which is one positive. I try to see maybe trying to pull the positive out of the negative kind of idea, but like you were saying, I work out in my garage sometimes too, and then it's okay, I can do exactly this, and then I'll try to do the same workout in a commercial gym, and then it's okay, well, I'm not doing that in that order, or like you said, I'm going to wait 20 minutes to do it, and then my workout takes 2 hours, and that's no good. So yeah, I think thankfully there's been one better than others, but nothing terrible. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think I'm going to piggyback off of what you said as well, Ashley, and you, Brady. I honestly feel, so I've always been going to commercial gyms 90% of the time. I have been privileged enough to go to some boutique style gyms. But my fitness journey started at a commercial gym, and I think that definitely has molded me into the person that I was, because majority of women, unfortunately, have this mindset that we can't lift, we shouldn't lift, you don't want to look like a man. So when my trainer was like, I need you to go over there and get the weights, and I'm like, wait, the free weights, where those guys are? He's like, come on, yes, hello, we're on a time crunch. And I'm like, oh my God. So he'd push me to do that, and then I'd be embarrassed or whatever. And then as my strength increased, as my confidence increased and endurance and all that, now nobody can tell me anything. Literally a guy, it's happened before, typically a guy will just grab this big old weight because they're like, she's not using it. I'm like, excuse me, that's mine. Or it allows me now to go up to somebody and be like, I'm sorry, are you almost done here? When I see the chit chatter, like you said, or on the cell phone, I don't, listen, I know we all have different ways of socializing. For me, the gym is not one. Then again, I'm also in a relationship. So I know sometimes it's a way to meet people and maybe, meet your future significant other. So when I see that going on, I try to be patient enough and, wait my turn. But then if I see that it's just getting a little out of hand, I now have the confidence enough to be like, hey, are you using this? Or like, can I jump in with you? I've also been able to be more creative and less, more flexible as well, which I've been able to then like YouTube other forms of like, oh, what else can I do with this machine instead of, or how else can I work out this muscle instead of just using this machine? So it has allowed me to play more with the weights and just, grow, my knowledge when it comes to how to work the different muscle groups. So that's my tip on that. But did you want to touch on anything else? Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I'll just share one more, just because this was probably the craziest experience that I've ever had at a gym. And this was back home in Virginia years ago when I first started working out. So I was really unaware, like you said, that people sometimes go there to find their husband or their wife. And I'm sure you've been hit on. I'm sure, Brady, you've been hit on too. I mean, you never know. Girls can hit on guys too. It's just the environment of it. But the first gym that I went to, I had a little bit of a stalker situation. So that was interesting. One of the guys there was watching me like when I would park and when I would, walk to my car. And I was not really aware of it at the time. I was young and like, well, whatever. So he had asked one of the employees for my number because he was friends with him. And the employee gave him my number. So then I started getting like text message after text message, like, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to do, and I was like, who is this? Like, this is crazy. I didn't even know who the guy was. Like I had seen him a few times at the gym because, you go to the gym a lot. You talk to some people very briefly, you see the same people all the time. Hey, what's up? The 5 a.m. crew. Yeah, exactly. So that for me was like, okay, this is like a little bit different. Like I need to be a little bit more aware. Like it's funny looking back. At the time it wasn't funny, but now looking back, I'm like, okay, he wasn't like, doing anything too bad. It was just a little creepy. He's probably done that to a few other people, but it was a kind of like a harmless, creepy thing. And sometimes I think people don't even realize how creepy that they're being, unfortunately. So that for me was like sticking out of my head is like, that was the craziest experience that I had at a gym because this man literally tracked down my number from an employee and the employee gave it to him. So needless to say, I canceled my gym membership like a week later, like very quickly. I was like, I'm done, never coming back here, goodbye. So, so that was that.
Well, I'm glad to know that nothing else happened, out of that because that's scary. Touching on that, actually, a new topic in regards to like maybe posting where you're at, because I was given advice on this, and at first I'm like, what do you mean? So like me personally, at first I'd be like, oh, I wanted to show people like, yes, I'm part of the 5 a.m. crew. So I'd take a picture like, look, walking into quote unquote, I don't know, crunch at 4:59, and, or here's the line of the people that are trying to get into the gym, or like, hey, all done, and like, just basically like timing my steps. And then somebody was like, maybe you shouldn't be like posting that. And I, at first, when you're getting into the world of social media, and I'm still learning every day, there's so many new things, but like, I was like, well, what do you mean? And then I realized, I was like, yeah, somebody can literally be tracking like, oh, she goes to Criticalbench, and then she goes to PetSmart, and then so now because of that, I've taken it into consideration, and I try to post like hours later, which is still really funny because some people obviously don't know. Even my friends will be like, oh my God, were you just at Panera? And I was like, no, girl, that was like 5 hours ago. So what are your thoughts on like that about I know we want to be as, authentic to our clients and to our audience on our social media platforms as well. What are your thoughts on like sharing your progress and your journey, but when it comes to like your safety? I know it's kind of like a complex question, but I'll start with Ashley.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great point because it's something that we don't think about. We are in a social media age, so everything that we post every day is tracked. Our location, our phones are pretty much like little GPS systems people can hack into and kind of find us anywhere. So it's a really good topic to bring up and bring awareness for women or men too. There's still some crazy women out there for sure. But yeah, I think it's a great topic to bring up. I've done that as well, mostly because I'm so busy and running around. Sometimes I'll record something and I'm like, okay, I don't have time to like, write a little text right now. Yeah, so I'll just, post this later, save it. But I think it's a great topic to bring up, and I haven't really thought about it that way. So as women, we have to always be careful. Even when I go for a run, I'll text, someone and be like, hey, I'm going for a run. Just little things, just because you just never know. You just want to be safe. You want to get your fitness in. You want to make sure you stay healthy, but you also have to make sure that you're smart about it and you're not just, going to do something and not tell anybody, or, not, tell someone, hey, like, I'm going to be here and this is when I need you to pick me up, or vice versa. Like, you just need to be aware of your surroundings and aware that there are unfortunately some bad people in the world. It's just what it is. The world is not like, the greatest place all the time, as much as we like to think like flowers, rainbows, and unicorns. But yeah, so just being aware of that and still getting your fitness in and not letting that scare you, because I think some women, they do get scared. I actually had a client who, this was years ago, and she wouldn't even know this, so it's totally fine, but years ago, she was actually terrified to come out of her house. I was only allowed to train her at her house. And I tried to work with her. I'm just a personal trainer. I'm not a therapist by any means, but I tried to work with her and get her some more confidence, and just coming outside even just walking down the street was terrifying for her just because of the experiences that she had. So it's just being aware that, you need to make yourself safe first, and then your fitness comes next. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of brought it up, but it's definitely something that I take for granted as a male. It's not something that I really think about. I mean, it definitely, I would assume, happens a little bit on the other side of the spectrum, and like there's crazy girls out there too. But and men. But I would say definitely something I take for granted and something I don't think about. I take the picture, I post it right away, I tell everybody where I'm at, so everybody always knows. Maybe that's wrong, but something I've definitely, I mean, maybe now I'm going to think about it a little bit, but yeah, I don't know.
So for those individuals that are going to the gym to, potentially pick out their future significant other, my tip to them is when you're working out, at least for females, like wait till they're done. Wait till they're done working out, doing their exercise. They're actually taking a break. Because personally, and I know a lot of my friends too, like we don't like to be bothered while we're working out. Our time there is very, important. And then we also don't want to like feel like we're being watched as we're working out. So I think if you find somebody attractive at the gym and you're just trying to figure out like what's the best way to like approach them, I personally think it's just wait till they're done, maybe grabbing a drink of water, or they're like finished and they're wrapping up and they're probably walking out, and maybe just, hey, oh my gosh, I see you here all the time. I see you're part of the 5 a.m. group, and maybe just start small talk. Like, I see you come here all the time. Like, what are your goals? I'm also into fitness too, or, guess what? Like, this is my first time ever. Like, I see that you're actually kind of a professional. I love some, and maybe go that route because women, we're just always having to be just so vigilant, and, not that we always think about the worst thing ever, but like, just at the gym, we kind of feel that, especially like we like to wear crop tops or like, sports bras, and just of how the way that the ambience is at a gym, I feel like the best way is to just be respectful, wait till they're done, and then maybe approach and just kind of maybe think about it in a better, like, I don't know, that way it doesn't come across as like if you're like being creepy or anything like that. So that's my take on any of you guys out there that are trying to find your future, superwoman. I'm gonna let Ashley take over and see what you'd like to add.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with you with waiting till the end of the workout. No person in general likes to feel bombarded when they're in the zone and they're working out. You're there to work out. You're not there to date. So honestly, this might not be the popular opinion just because I've done it, my friends have done it, and it really does rarely work out. I would try not to date people at your gym, because if that is your favorite gym and you really like it, if that relationship doesn't work out, now it's very awkward for you every time you come into the gym. It's not your safe space anymore. So my personal opinion, I would try not to date at the gym. But if there is a guy or a girl that, you're like, oh, they look so good, like they seem like a really good person, I would really like to talk to them. I would take Tash's advice and just talk to them at the end of the workout, very chill. Also, do not find their Instagram and DM them and tell them, oh, wow, you're at this gym I work out too. That is a big no-no. I've had that happen, and I am clearly in a relationship on my page, and I have had people find me and be like, wow, like you go to this gym, I do too, we should work out together. And I'm like, definitely not. This is a little creepy. I have no idea who you are. So do not message a girl from finding her Instagram. For sure, that's a big no-go. But yeah, otherwise, I don't think it's the most appropriate place to find a husband or a wife, but I have seen it. It's not that it's not happening. It's just super, super rare, that 1%. So if you are a newbie at the gym, don't go around trying to date everybody, because it's going to be really messy and really awkward.
I agree. Brady has to say.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like the scenarios I see it work best, at least from my friends and whatnot, is to get it out of that gym as soon as possible. So like you meet that person at the gym, you're like, hey, if you ever want to grab coffee, let me know, or whatever. Like you want to, like the date isn't the gym, not like, hey, do you want to work out next week, whatever, because that's like you said, going to be potentially awkward. But, or like, hey, and now you see them at the gym, they finish their set, like you said, definitely wait till they're done, and then just casually like, hey, you want to grab coffee or whatever. And I do think people think it's maybe a good place to meet somebody because we know probably like fitness does become your personality at some point. And then if you find somebody at the gym, they obviously have that same personality, at least they're trying to have the same personality. So I think that's what you think, like, okay, that's their hobby. Like you met them at the hobby. So that's like, you already have something to start on. So, but I think like take that starting point and then take it outside, ask them to get coffee, ask them to get dinner, whatever. Probably start with coffee.
Yeah. Well, I definitely love both of y'all's tips. I think it could get, I mean, it's hard out there, I guess. I'm not single, but I know it's hard out there in the single world. And sometimes, like you said, it might not be the dating place for you, but for some, that might be the only place. So as long as you can take these tips into consideration, I think you'll be good. Again, if you love tips like this or need any other like workout ideas or workout videos, make sure to subscribe below and then just catch us on the next bench break. Thanks so much.